Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. My name is Jordan, and we today are going to be back in the Bukkit Coding series, working on a new mini-series, I guess, is what I called it before. So we're going to be making a holographic displays alternative plugin. Now this plugin was popular back in 2 years ago or so, I think. I'm not sure. But yeah, we're going to be making it as requested on my live stream yesterday. If this gets uploaded on Thanksgiving, the stream was the 23rd of November, so just go from there. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I've already made my project here, and I've already set up my plugin.yml. So we're gonna jump right into it. First of all, I just want to quickly make a text edit file to outline what we need to do for this project. So we want holograms on command. We want to load them on enable and remove them on disable, and I'll get to why in just a second. We also we want touchscreen holograms as well. I believe that was a popular feature back in the day. And I'm not entirely sure what else to have for now, but we're just going to go ahead and name this Holo plan. And we'll probably add to this in the future when we look into it more and figure out more things we want to add. But anyway, let me get to why we need to load them and remove them on enable and disable. Actually, one more thing, we need an API. Forgot about that. So, why are we loading and removing them on enable and on disable? Well, the reason for that is if you take out the plugin from your plugins folder, you probably don't want the holograms to persist, and so we need to remove them on disable so that they don't exist in the world. Then when the plugin boots again, it's going to go through the data file and add them all in at the locations and all that the player sets them at. So let's go ahead and make a basic skeleton here. I'm also going to put this off to the side so I can keep that up there. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and make a basic command system. So we're going to say commands dot and then holo command. So this is going to be our main command. We're going to have holo and then some sub commands after it. So we're going to go ahead and say implement command executor. And we're going to auto import all of our methods that we need for this. And before we do anything in here, we're going to go ahead and create a subcommand class. This is going to be an abstract class. We're going to quickly have abstract void execute command sender. What else do we need? We're also going to have string array args in this execute method. What else here? We'll get back to that soon. Oh, one more thing. We need an abstract string get name. Cool. So we need to go ahead and make a way to register these. We're going to have subcommand handler, and this guy is going to let's quickly delete that and remake that as an singleton. So let's say subcommand manager. Cool, that went ahead and generated all that for us. Some spaces in so it looks nice. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and say private set. We're going to have a list of subcommands. The set is like a list, but a little bit different, in which I don't think you can access them by index, or access the items in the list by index. I'm not sure entirely why, but it's better for memory usage from what I've read. So we'll keep it as a set. We're going to say subcommands. We're going to make this equal to a new hash set. And we're going to go ahead and say public. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and have this inside of here. So the first time we get this instance is when we are going to I'll add all these subcommands. So we're going to go ahead and leave it to do because we don't have any subcommands yet. Once we do, however, we can go ahead and insert them there. So we're going to go ahead and say if args.length in our holo command is equal to 0. So if there are no arguments, we're just going to go ahead and assume they want the help argument. So we're going to say user wants help argument. Let's also do something really quick. We're going to go ahead and make a new package inside of here, and we're also going to make a class inside there. We're going to go ahead and say, what would be a good one? Not object, constructor maybe. Well, no, object would be good. And we can go ahead and say object dot and then holo user. And so we're going to go ahead and say private player, and we're also going to have private command sender. Actually, let's just default this to command sender. And the reason I'm going to have it this way is simply because I don't want to have to deal with having two different ones and checking if there's null. I'd rather have a single command sender, and for anything that requires a location, for like spawning a hologram, for instance, then all we need to have is just our command center. We check if it's a player whenever we need to actually do that player action, and if it is not a player, then we can just send it a message saying you can't perform this, or whatever. So let's now make our constructor here. We're going to have public holo user command sender. We're going to say, oops, I keep doing that, command center. We're going to say this dot equals. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and set that object in here, and we're going to create a getter inside of there. We're going to go ahead and have a public void send message, string message, and we need to quickly make a utilities package now. So utilities. That's not how you spell it. Utilities. Cool. Then we're going to have our chat util class, like I always do. We're going to have our public static string format, string, and we're just going to quickly return a chat color.translate, string, just so that we can format things easily. So we're going to go ahead and say get command sender.send message, chat util.format message. Cool. So we have that in here. Of course, we're going to have more things like spawn hologram, and we're going to have hologram objects and things and that stuff. But for now, that's all we need. So we're going to go ahead and say holo user is going to be equal to a new holo user from our sender. So we're now going to say user.send message, and we can now send messages that are automatically colored just in this one line of code. This sounds so complicated, but it's really not. So user.send message. What do we want here? Well, for now, let's just send information about the plugin. We'll get back to it later. Let's make this kind of a blue, I guess. So and B and then and 9. Those are good blues. We can say for our main color here, we're gonna have 3, and we can go ahead and say NL holo and 9 boop and B boop, and we can go ahead and say and 7 colon and then and F for white. Running holo version. We can go ahead and say holo dot. Oh, we don't have our instance getters for our main class. So we can go ahead and go up here, private static holo instance, and we're gonna say instance equals this. Oops. And on disable, instance equals null. Public holo get instance. Okay, cool. And let's make a quick utility. We're gonna say info util public static string get info string. Say holo. We're gonna go ahead and say return version, oops, running holo. We're just gonna say holo version plus holo.get description .get version by, and then holo.get description .get authors. Ooh, we need to quickly make a inside of chat util. Let's make a way to format lists nicely. We're gonna say public static string format list string list. We're gonna say string str equals blank, return str down here, and we're gonna say for a string content colon list if str dot equals empty, so if it's empty or otherwise, we're just gonna say str equals content or str equals content plus comma plus content. We need to change that to str. Cool. So that's our quick list formatter to change lists into some nice looking things. That made no sense at all, but it made sense in my head. So we can just run that list through there, and we're good to go. Now say, instead of all this, we can just say plus info util dot get info string from holo dot get instance. That also looks not so good though, so let's quickly switch this and just say holo equals, and remove it out of there. I don't know why I decided to put it in there, but I did for some reason. I wouldn't do that if I were you, because that just gets weird. But yeah, so we'll leave that in there for now. So let's just make a basic subcommand just for the purpose of testing the subcommand system, and then we'll actually get into real content later. We're gonna say subcommands dot test, or help. Let's say just say help subcommand, so we don't have to delete this later. Okay, help subcommand extends subcommand. So this is going to need R2. Whoops. This needs R2 methods. Right? Or do we need to have implements? No. Huh, I thought it would auto let me generate these. Anyway, we're gonna say public string get name. Return help. Then we're gonna say public void execute command or holo user, or just user, and then string array args. Let's edit subcommand real quick to change this to holo user. User. Import that. I'm not entirely sure why that isn't working. That's really interesting. That might need to be public, actually. Yes, there we go. It needs to be public. Okay. So as long as these two are public, it'll work. I'm not sure why. That's really interesting. I never knew that about Java, but whatever. Okay. Let's remove command sender out of there to keep that clean. And cool. Now we have our execute method. We're gonna say if args.length equals 0. We're just gonna send page 1. Else, we're gonna say try catch exception ex, and in here we're just gonna send page 1. Int page equals integer dot parse int args index of 0. So what we're doing now, really quick, just to go over this so I don't confuse anyone heavily. We're gonna check if there's any arguments in our arguments string array there, and if there isn't, then we're just gonna send them page 1. Then we're gonna go down, and if there are more arguments, we're gonna check if it's an integer, and if there's any errors getting it to an integer, it's just gonna default and send page 1 in that exception catch block there. If it doesn't, we now have our page in here. So actually, what I want to quickly do is say int page. This will make it a lot easier. We're gonna say page equals 1. In here, oops, we just have that, and now we can go ahead and say page equals 1. And now send help via page int. So now we have our integer, and it's, you know, not a ton of copy pasted code. So we're saying private void send help holo user user and we're going to say int page. Now we can just go ahead and say some help user page. We're just going to say user.sendMessage and CNL coming soon. And actually I want to quickly add one more thing in here. Public void send message with prefix. We don't have to type with a prefix every time. String message. And so I'm going to take this. And we're going to say send message. NF plus message. Cool. So now instead of this bit right here, we can just say send message with prefix. Prefix. And we're going to say requested, just for debug, requested page. Cool. So now let's go ahead and get to processing that command. So if you recall earlier, we made our subcommand manager. We need to quickly add our subcommand in here. So we're going to say new help subcommand. And we also want to quickly say public void, or public subcommand find string str for subcommand. This is probably not the most efficient way to do things. Well, actually, let's remove this getName and just have our execute method. And let's also go into subcommand and remove that getName method. So all we need is our execute method. So we're now going to change this into a hash map with a string and a subcommand. And so what we can do is we can just set the command in here. And so cool. You can just go ahead and say help. So we're going to say if subcommands.get get str does not equal null. Actually, we can just return this right here for now. And I'm gonna add probably an aliases method to these subcommands eventually. That'll be in the future, but for now we're just gonna return that and be done with it. So finally we can quickly exit out of here and we can go ahead and say okay, so subcommand manager dot get instance dot find args in exit 0. So subcommand equals boom. We're gonna say if subcommand equals null. Then we're just gonna go ahead and say subcommand equals subcommand manager dot get instance dot find help. And in the event that this new subcommand is null, then we're just gonna say there's something seriously wrong. Something went wrong, and we're gonna return out of there. So in case the help command is null, we're not having an issue there. So what else do we? Okay, so now that we have our subcommand argument, we're good to go. Now, so we know for sure it's not null. It can't be null anymore. We're just gonna go ahead and say subcommand.execute user and args. Now, is there a method just to take out that first argument there? I don't know. Let me see. Args.clone. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna say for int I equals 0, I is less than args.length, I plus plus. So we're gonna go through all of these. We're gonna say string, or actually, we're gonna say if I equals 0. We're gonna continue. So we're gonna skip that loop. Otherwise, I don't know how do we add things into a string array? This is the one thing I've never been good at within Java. Can we just do that? I think it's just doing this. Ooh, we're gonna say I-1. Hopefully that works. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see when we test this out. Okay, so let's go ahead and say git command holo set executor new holo command. Go into plugin, and we're going to say commands holo description, the main command for the holo plugin. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and boot a server, and I'll be right back. We're going to test this out. Alright everyone, we have went ahead and booted a server, so we can go ahead and see how the plugin operates. Now let's quickly type in help holo to make sure everything's working. Seems to work just fine. Let's go and type in holo. Cool, we got that working. If we type in holo random, coming soon, right? So it's defaulting to the help command, that's perfect. And if we just say holo help, it works perfectly. Now if we go ahead and say help 5, okay, there's an error. Perfect. How do we... Holo command 40. That's probably where we're in. Yeah, okay. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, through some searching, I found out that we can take, make this into a list, this new args object, and make that an array list and add all that to it, like you would an array list. And then you can say when we need the string array, new args.to array, new string array, and then a 0 inside those brackets. So let's go ahead and compile this and see if it works. This one should work. If not, we're back to Google. Cool, there we go. So now it works. We have requested page 5. And it's seeing this is the first argument like it should because we're using a subcommand. Perfect. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. We're going to get into more hologram related stuff in the next one. This one was obviously just the skeleton. So I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.